It was an episode we made years ago where I had gone to Italy, and I was trying to get into showbiz, and I was chosen by some Italian director with a whole bunch of women, and I thought I was getting into show business, but I wasn't. I was a grape stomper, and I was sent out to a field, and they said, stomp the grapes, so I just couldn't understand the language or anything, but I did as I was told.
The loss of a child is a pain that no parent should ever have to endure. And for Julia Arnaz, granddaughter of the iconic Lucille Ball, the heartbreaking reality became her own when she had to say goodbye to her daughter, Desiree. Born into a family of Hollywood royalty, Julia's life has been a tapestry woven with the threads of love, laughter, and the enduring legacy of her famous grandparents. But amidst the glitz and glamour, Julia faced the unimaginable when Desiree, at the age of 31, lost her battle with breast cancer. Join us as we look at the heart-wrenching story of Julia Arnaz, a mother's love, and the unbreakable bond between generations. Growing up as Lucille Ball's unknown granddaughter. Growing up, Julia Arnaz always knew there was something special about her family history. Her mother, Susan Callahan Howe, had told her from a young age that her father was none other than Desi Arnaz Jr., the son of Hollywood icons Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz Sr. But despite this incredible revelation, Julia had no contact with her famous father throughout her childhood. She would often wonder about her father and what it would be like to meet him. She grew up watching reruns of I Love Lucy, marveling at the talent and charisma of her grandparents, but feeling a sense of disconnect from the family she'd never known. It wasn't until tragedy struck that Julia decided to take matters into her own hands. In 1989, when Julia was 20, her grandmother Lucille Ball passed away. The loss of this legendary figure, whom she had never met, stirred something inside Julia. Determined to uncover the truth about her paternity once and for all, she took a bold step. She obtained a subpoena to have a DNA test conducted, hoping to prove that Desi Arnaz Jr. was indeed her biological father. The results came back with a 99.97% certainty, confirming what her mother had told her all along. Armed with this undeniable proof, Julia reached out to her father, hoping to establish a relationship with him. To her surprise and delight, Desi Jr. embraced the opportunity to get to know his daughter. Despite the years of absence, they began to form a close bond. As Julia and Desi Jr.'s relationship blossomed, she began to feel a sense of belonging within the Arnaz family. Her father introduced her to her aunt, Lucy Arnaz, and shared stories about her famous grandparents. Julia soaked up every detail, piecing together the family history that had been missing from her life for so long. Through her newfound connection with her father, Julia discovered a sense of identity and purpose. She learned about the incredible legacy left behind by Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz Sr. and felt a deep pride in being part of such a talented and influential family. As she looked to the future, Julia knew that she wanted to honor her grandparents' memory and make her own mark on the world, just as they had done so many years before. Lucille Ball's other grandchildren. While Julia's story is one of a long-lost granddaughter finding her place in the family, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz Sr.'s other grandchildren have been more closely connected to the entertainment industry. Lucy, the couple's first child, followed in her parents' footsteps and carved out a successful career as an actress and producer. Her three children, Simon, Joseph, and Catherine Luckenbill, have each pursued their own creative passions. Simon, the eldest, discovered a love for the visual arts early on. He honed his skills in painting, drawing, and sculpture, eventually establishing himself as a talented artist. Joseph, the middle child, was drawn to music early on. He learned to play the guitar and began writing his own songs, pouring his heart and soul into every melody. As he grew older, his musical talents blossomed, and he formed a band with some friends. They started performing at local venues, captivating audiences with their original sound and heartfelt lyrics. Catherine, the youngest of Lucy's children, inherited her grandmother's love for the spotlight. She began acting in school plays and community theater productions, showcasing her natural talent and charisma on stage. As she honed her craft, Catherine's passion for the entertainment industry only grew stronger. She also took on the role of licensing Lucille Ball's image, ensuring that her grandmother's legacy would continue to inspire future generations. On the other side of the family tree, Desi Arnaz Jr.'s adopted daughter Haley found her own path to creative expression through dance. From a young age, Haley was enchanted by the grace and beauty of ballet. As she grew older, her dedication intensified. She performed in numerous productions, captivating audiences with elegant movements and emotive performances. Becoming a mother and Desiree's breast cancer battle. As Julia Arnaz navigated her newfound relationship with her father and extended family, she also embarked on the journey of motherhood. In 1989, she welcomed her only child, a daughter named Desiree Anzalone. From the moment Desiree was born, Julia's world revolved around her. She poured all of her love and energy into raising her daughter, creating a bond that would prove unbreakable even in the face of the greatest challenges. As Desiree grew into a young woman, she possessed a vibrant spirit and unwavering determination. But at age 25, her life took a devastating turn. She discovered a lump in her breast and sought medical attention. The doctor initially dismissed her worries, assuring her that young women her age rarely faced serious breast health issues. But she refused to accept this dismissal. She pushed for further testing and evaluation. Her tenacity paid off when she was eventually diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. The news came as a shock to both Desiree and her family, but they rallied around her, determined to support her through every step of her battle. As she underwent treatment, she found strength in the love and support of her family, particularly her grandfather, Desi Arnaz Jr. Despite the years of separation, Desi Jr. stepped up to be there for his granddaughter. The two formed an unbreakable bond, united in their fight against this terrible disease. She underwent countless rounds of chemotherapy and radiation, enduring the physical and emotional toll of her treatments with a resilience that inspired those around her. Her spirit never wavered. Tragically, despite her valiant fight, her battle with breast cancer came to a heartbreaking end. In September of 2020, at age 31, she passed away, leaving behind a legacy of strength, love, and courage. Her loss devastated her family, especially her mother Julia, who had been by her side every step of the way.
She was the biggest fighter. She was my hero. Her last words to me was, "Mom," and I was walking out, and she says, "Imagine, she's so strong." She says, "You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay."
Turning grief into a mission. The loss of her beloved daughter Desiree left Julia grappling with an all-consuming grief that threatened to overwhelm her. The pain of losing her only child was a burden that seemed too heavy to bear, and for a time Julia found herself lost in a sea of sorrow and despair. But even in the depths of her anguish, she knew she could not let Desiree's memory fade away. As she began to pick up the pieces of her shadowed life, she was driven by a newfound sense of purpose. She realized the best way to honor Desiree's legacy was to take action and make a difference in the lives of others facing similar struggles. She set out to create a foundation in her daughter's name, dedicated to the fight against breast cancer.
I would just tell the young women and to just really be aware of your body and to live clean, live a good, clean, healthy life.
The Desiree Anzalone Foundation became Julia's driving force, a way to channel her grief into something positive and meaningful. One of Julia's primary goals was to expand insurance coverage for mammograms and ultrasounds for younger women. She knew all too well the devastating consequences of delayed diagnosis, and she was determined to ensure other young women would not have to face the same obstacles Desiree had encountered. She began to see the impact of her work. Young women across the country were gaining access to the screenings and care they needed. The Desiree Anzalone Foundation became a beacon of hope. In the face of unimaginable loss, Julia had found a way to transform her grief into a mission, ensuring that her daughter's memory would forever be a source of hope and healing for others. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you know anyone who's been through similar struggles? Let us know in the comments section below.